Indians tonight, I should say. This guy came all the way down from St. Augustine, Florida. Let's give it up for Mr. Tom Hancock.
You say he was married 14 years? He's still getting laid. You guys been together 35 years? How often are you doing it?
Hourly.
I had my 32nd wedding anniversary. I guess it was in June, you know. I didn't think that Death to His Part was going to take quite this long, but I've been with her for 35 years. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, I could have had a good life. It's kind of like a same-sex marriage. Anybody same-sex marriage, you two?
No. No.
I've had the same sex for 32 years. Same time of day, same position. And I married a screamer. She screams at like the same time during sex, like every time. Get off my hair! You're kneeling on my kitty! You know, they didn't used to be that long. And, you know what my wife has between her breasts that she didn't have 32 years ago? That would be her belly button. Yeah. I'm really kind of bragging because after 32 years, we really hardly ever have sex. And does your wife ever say she has like a headache or not in the mood? And my wife says he only does one guy a day. It seems like it's never my day, you know. I mean, I'm being kind of ignorant because one day I'm pretty sure it was my day. She comes out of the bathroom after a shower, comes running across the room and flops up on the bed and she yells, "Soup! Burr, pussy!" And I said, I believe I'll have that soup, you know. Hey, I thought it was like a multiple choice. I didn't know that, you know. You ever hear this one? I got a vibrator going to give it to, and it can't make her car payment, I'm pretty sure. Lord. One time she got pissed at me. She sent me one of them 12-step programs, you know, self-help group kind of thing for premature ejaculators. And I went, but I kind of left a little early, you know. Seems to be my way, you know. One time in 35 years, this is like a really shitty average, my wife came to me, said she wanted to spice up our sex life. She wanted to have a three-way, a menage a trois, you know. I thought about it, that's like every guy's fantasy, but I finally told her that I didn't intend to apologize to two women, you know. Yeah. My favorite position with my wife, doggy style, kind of from behind, you know, and I got 3 reasons for that. And only one of those reasons is important. I don't have to see that look of disappointment on her face. And I can catch Letterman. And if I warm up the ashtray, I can sit that fucker right on her back. I got no rhythm, you know. Well, my point wasn't that I like doing doggy style. My birthday's in October, so I was doing her doggy style, and I was giving the old daddy, "Who's your daddy? Who is your daddy?" I was trying to sound, you know, black. And the bitch turns and she looks at me and she says, "You're not my daddy." She says, "But you do look like a couple of his friends." Yeah, I know. I knew what I was getting when I married my wife. I knew she was kind of like an nymphomaniac, to be honest with you. I haven't slept for 35 years. I'm up all night, every night, you know. Kind of wonder where she is if she's coming home. On our first date, she got pissed because she didn't like the way I drove. So on our second date, I said, "You fucking drive if you want to go out." So she drove. We went to a movie. I hadn't been to a movie in 100 years because they had videos then, you know. But after the date was over, we come out of the movie. And we go to get in her car, and somebody had written "tramp" on the side of her car. I said, "Who the hell would have done that?" She said, "Could have been any one of 1,000 guys." You know, I knew what I was in for. You know, yeah. Does your wife ever get mad at you? Yeah. You're not going to say, are you? Does his wife ever get mad at him? My wife's always mad at me. She was mad at me like on our first date, and she's mad today. She's always pissed. Let me tell you something right up front. I married the prettiest girl I ever knew. I swear to God, the most beautiful woman I've ever known. Somehow, for some reason, I tricked her into marrying me. And 32 years later, I still think she's the prettiest woman I've ever known. She really is. but she's kind of a little bit bitchy sometimes, and she's always walking pissed at me about something. And the most recent one is I have a golden retriever, right? And it loves to swim, and this dog is so cute, it will chase anything on a bicycle. I should have never bought it a bicycle, but I told my wife I'm taking the dog to the beach. I didn't mention I was going to the Naked Beach north of St. Augustine, but I went to the Naked Beach. I'm 60 years old. I got man breasts. I'm stressed out on the beach. The dog's in the ocean. I look like a poorly rolled joint with little tiny stems sticking through the paper. But I'm laying there, right, and I started thinking, if my unit, my tallywhacker, gets all sunburned, my wife's gonna know I didn't just go to the beach, right? So I grab some sunscreen and I start smearing it on. And it's so hard to stop. 60 years old, I get taken home by a St. Johns County sheriff. I guess he thought he was going to tell my mother and she was going to yell at me. But my wife was mad, though. She wasn't mad because I was at the Naked Beach where I got brought home by a sheriff, but we had to go back and get my truck, right? And then a week later, she's mad because we had to go to her cousin's funeral. We've been together a long time. I'd never heard this cousin's name, but the cousin dies, and I've got to go to the funeral. I actually volunteered because I knew I was going to have to go. You may as well make it seem like it was your idea, right? And we go to this funeral, and it was boring as shit, and as all funerals are, and the guy's up in front of the room, and he's doing this long-winded sermon about life and death and the hereafter. I mean, it was just boring, and then right in the middle of this guy's sermon, he farted like really, 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 really loud, and I sat there with a straight face, I swear to God, until the guy behind me said, man, it smells like something tied in here. And then I lost it, you know. And she's pissed about that and laughing at a funeral that's supposed to be full of her family people, you know. Oh, Grace, I don't know what the hell she's not mad about. She's always pissed about one thing or another. She complains about is, I don't make a good living. Let me tell you this right up front, too. My last job I had was in 1981. I haven't made any big efforts at making a good living, but I don't like working, you know. And I'm not lazy, I just don't like having a job. I don't like getting out of bed in the morning. I don't like people telling me what the fuck to do. But I guess that's why they give you money. But anyway, I do some stuff to make money. I mean, I'm not completely broke. I do a little bit of comedy, make a little money through that, you know. I converted my garage to a meth lab. I can make some money there, you know. But anyway, I do nuisance wildlife removal, which is my favorite thing. I like, in the spring, people call me and they say, I've got a den in my garage. And I go there and I get little raccoons and possums and snakes and alligators and shit. But anyway, I got a call a few weeks ago. Does anybody here know where Flagler Estates is? Yeah, I thought that was white trash when I went out to this place. I swear, I had to rethink the white trash thing. I get a call from Flagler Estates. The lady's got a skunk on her porch, and I don't like skunk calls because they're disgusting. They make my truck stink, the trap stink, and me stink. But I go out there, and there's a skunk on this lady's porch. It's about this big. It's about 2 or 3 days old. It's eating her cat food, right? And it's a spotted skunk, which probably most of you have never seen. It's on the protected list. And I said to my wife, if we don't take it, it's going to be dead in another day or two. You know, it's just such a baby. So we just grabbed it and left. We didn't even put it in a trap. We're coming across 207 back to St. Augustine, and Fish and Game swings in behind me again, and on comes her lights again. And I said to my wife, I said, it's a third-degree felony to be in possession of something on the protected list. I said, you need to hide that son of a bitch. She says, where do you hide a skunk? In the front of a pickup truck. I said, slip it up under your skirt. She says, what about the stink? I said, hold his little nose. You guys know that never really happened, right? Yeah. I think my wife hates my guts. I swear to God. I mean, just sometimes it just seems like she doesn't really want to be married to me. And then all of a sudden she sends me like one of those mixed messages. One day I come in from working all day in the garage, and there's a little package in the pass-through between the dining room and the kitchen. And it's a gift-wrapped little box, looked gay, and looked like jewelry or something, but it had my name on it, so I'm opening it up, and you can probably tell I'm sort of eloquent. And I'm looking in this little box once I had it open, and I said, what the fuck? And my wife must have come in because she stands behind me. She says, it's a pedometer. She says, you picked up a few pounds over the holidays. She said, I thought you should have a walk-in program, which I think is really nice that she was concerned. But anyway, I'm like, what the hell's a pedometer? And for anybody who doesn't know, it measures how many steps you take. And I told her I would go for this walking program crap because I don't want my wife to leave, because if she leaves, she's going to take half the stuff. Her stuff's the good stuff, and I don't want to be left with my shit. But anyway, I'm reading the directions on this pedometer. It says for optimum health, you should walk 10,000 steps in a day. I'm thinking if I wanted optimum health, I probably wouldn't smoke 2 packs of cigarettes. You know, I probably wouldn't drink a quart of vodka like every day, you know. And then there's the pot and crystal, not crystal meth. Crystal's like my favorite hooker. But anyway, I told her I would try this shit, so I did, right? And I clipped the pedometer on for a couple of days. I even slept with it to try to get a little extra out of it. And I'm coming around 2,000-3,000 steps before I cry from optimum health. But what I did find was if I took the pedometer and I clipped it up under my watch, man, I mean, I can make up like a whole lot of steps. Yeah. This young guy, I can see his little mind working. He's thinking, that's a pretty good workout program. Well, it is. It's not without some danger, though. The other day, I was making up some steps. My hand slipped off. It hit me in the nose. My eyes started to water. I almost wrecked the fucking car. Yeah. Well, that might seem funny here tonight. At the time, I realized I could have killed the whole family. You know. Did your mom ever tell you wear clean underwear in case for an accident? Did she ever tell you that shit? No. I'm talking to you, not her. Women don't hear that. Just guys get to hear that. Mine always told me that. And it wouldn't matter if my underwear were clean or not if they find me dead in the car and they're down around my ankles. That's all I'm thinking, you know. Good Lord. Anybody, you guys got kids? How old are your kids? He's thinking, look, let me ask her. She probably knows. How old are these kids? So you got them. They survived until they got to like a good age. Let me tell you something. When I met and married my lovely wife, I told her I don't like children. I'm not like Peter. I don't like kids, you know. And I told her right up front. And she said, if you have children, she said, you'll like your own. Everybody likes their own. Well, it turned out that wasn't fucking true. I don't like them even a little bit, you know. I'm 60 years old. I've got a 12 and a 14-year-old. I should have grandchildren that old, you know what I mean? And the good thing is the boy, who's 12, he's probably not going to be with me that much longer anyway, because I'm pretty sure he's headed for reform school. No, he's in school the other day. He's always in trouble. In school the other day, he goes to the bathroom, right, and then throws like a match in the trash can. Like that makes good sense. There's like $5,000 worth of smoke damage in a couple of minutes, right? And then later the same day, he gets caught grabbing the boobie on the little girl he sits next to. And ordinarily this wouldn't bother me, but the little fucker's homeschooled, you know. Yeah, that's his sister, Mrs. Mood Swing. Oh, jeezy peasy. She's not as bad as him, but she's bad, you know. My favorite time of day is when I come downstairs in the morning for like kind of like a breakfast thing, and I'm coming down the steps and I hear these 2 little kids and they're cussing and they're bickering, they're trying to get money for, you know, school trips and fines and pot, and they just need money all the time, you know. And I come down and I say to my daughter, I said, Stephanie, I said, man, you really look nice today. And she bursts into tears and runs out of the room, right? I don't know. And then my wife, she gives me the look, like I had done something. And I still have no idea what the hell I did wrong. It was the first time she looked good. She's like into that goth shit, the black fingernails, the black makeup, black clothes. And she always looks like shit in the morning and the afternoon. But anyway, this day she looked kind of nice. But, I was always pissed about that crap too. You know, I bought a new house about 7 years ago. Anybody buy a house about 7 years ago when they were like extremely expensive? Did you do that? And how old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 23.
You're drinking, so make sure you say at least 21. I bought a house 7 years ago when they were like ridiculously expensive, right? And it's funny because I didn't really like the house, and I wasn't wild about the neighborhood, and I really didn't like the kids that were going to be living with me either. But I'm not sure whose idea it was to buy this house, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't mine. But we bought it, and I really hate it. But anyhow, and you know what's nice about it though? It has like a really, really, really big community pool, and I love that. I hang out there all the time because I'm self-employed, and they call me Otis. I'm not sure why they call me that. I think it's an affectionate thing. But one day I came home from working in the garage, and my wife said, Tom, she says, let's go on down the pool. I was like, hell yeah. And I like ran upstairs, and I put on one of my favorite bathing suits, one of them little banana hammocks, you know, because once again, because I have breasts and I'm fat. But anyway, but then I put a terry cloth robe over top of it, not so much because I'm shy, but like I put a pint of vodka in a pocket, a couple joints in this pocket, right? And we go on down to the pool, right? And I get down there, and this lifeguard comes down. I swear to God, he's about this big. He's about 12 or 15 years old. And he says, Mr. Hancock, he says, you can't come in the pool today. And I was like, what do you mean I can't come in the pool today? He says, you've been barred from the pool. I was like, why would I be barred from the pool? He says, because you peed in the pool. I was like, pretty much everybody pees in the pool. He says, not from a diving board. You know? So I don't go down to the pool too often anymore. You know what the weirdest part about getting old? I'm not thinking, you don't need to answer this, I don't think, if you're 23 years old or whatever you said, but it's like I have to go to the doctor all the time now. And it's like, the last time I got a checkup was when I was for my draft board, when I was just turning 18 years old. And now I have this insurance and I have to get a checkup every year. And I went and I got a checkup, and this doctor, he can't hardly speak English. He's not an Indian guy, I don't know what he is, but he tried to get me to take antidepressants, right? And I said, I don't want to take antidepressants. I said, I'm the least depressed person I know. I said, why would I take them? And the guy was persistent as hell. And I finally said, look, you quack. I said, if ever I feel old, fat, ugly, stupid, and depressed, I said, I go to Walmart. You know, if you're fat and you go to Walmart, you'll find you're not that fat. You know, if you're ugly and you go to Walmart, you might find yourself attractive. You know, but anyway, I could have AIDS and go to Walmart and feel okay about myself. Does anybody here live in Palatka? Anybody know where Palatka is? You know, you should go there. I found a Walmart in Palatka. I felt like a fucking movie star. I mean, look at me. I said I felt like a movie star. It takes a lot to make me feel that way, you know. But I just happened to be the guy with a shirt and shoes and a tooth, you know. My wife said, I'm not going in there. And I said, we were camping down in Ocala. I said, I got to get a pair of jeans, you know. But anyway, I said, I'm going in. She said, would you adjust? You guys are married, you know what I'm talking about. Would you just pick up, you know, so that's an extra hour I'm going to be in there, because I just have to pick up on this and that. I go in. I go directly to the men's department to find men's clothing. And I got a couple pair of Wranglers, and I go into the dressing room, right? And I'm in the dressing room. I swear to Christ, I was just trying on jeans. I wasn't doing nothing else. And I hear a knock on the wall of the dressing room. Not the door, the wall. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's a fucking Republican senator next door, right? Well, it wasn't. The guy in the next booth had run out of paper, you know. Yeah. That's just plain disgusting. My wife asked me to pick up a few pounds of bacon potatoes, right, and some tin foil so we can throw potatoes in the fire in our campsite. And so I make that 18-mile trek across Walmart, and I get up to the produce in Palatka, and there's a woman standing there, and she's holding two big old bacon potatoes. And she's standing there staring at these potatoes for like the longest time, just staring at them. And I finally said, lady, I said, why the hell are you standing here staring at these two potatoes like that? She says, hey, I need my husband's testicles. I said, your husband's testicles are like that big? She said, no, but they're like that dirty. It's Palatka. Lord. One time I was in a Walmart and I bought the 8-piece chicken and I took it out to my truck and I put it together and it was a cat. No, it was delicious. I mean, I'm not complaining. It was some good cat. You know what I hate about Walmart the most? Is trying to get the hell out of there. If you go in there and buy 2 packs of cigarettes, or say if you're like the real white trash and you're doing Christmas shopping, like I do, and it takes the same amount of time to get out. But one time I was in the express line trying to get out of the Walmart, right? And there was a couple in front of me. I'm not sure what they were a couple of. I think one of them might have had an Adam's apple, but I can't be sure about that. But they were both ugly enough that you threw them in a pond, you could skim ugly for like a month. And they had a half a cart full of shit, you know, and it wasn't TVs and stereos. I mean, it was like little stuff. Is anybody's animal with me if you're in the express line and you know somebody has too many items, you count them when they put them up on the belt? And I do that, and I don't know why I do it, but I do it. And but unfortunately, I got to 20, and this like Walmart Tourette shit like just kicked in, and I started counting out loud, and I kind of came to it like 37 or 38. And the one that may have been a woman, she turns and she looks at me and she says, "You're an asshole." And I was like, "Yeah, I can count 20, you bitch." I didn't really call her a bitch, I'll be honest with you. I was a little scared of her. You know, I go to Walmart somewhat regularly. They have a place where you can have your taxes done in Walmart. And I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life. And that wouldn't be one of the ones I did. You know, there is also in our Walmart in St. Augustine a guy that'll check your prostate. He's like a real thick glasses and he's one of the greeters, you know. But he'll do that for you, you know, and he pays you. and he gives you money, so it's not so bad. You know what they need there? They need like a soundproof room where you can drop off your kids and have somebody beat them. I'm sick of seeing these douchebags beating their kids in the aisles of Walmart while they got a phone held to their ear while they're beating the crap out of their 11 little fucking kids. I don't like kids that much, is all I'm saying. Anyway, know where I got on that. Is anybody here from Pennsylvania? Yeah. I called a guy in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago. Nobody ever thinks this is funny except for me. I called a guy in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I said he had a Tartan 27 sailboat for sale. I said, I'm going to be in Gettysburg in 2 weeks. I said, how far is Gettysburg from Erie? He said, Gettysburg. He says, is that in Virginia? I just think that's funny. A guy in Pennsylvania didn't know Gettysburg was in Pennsylvania. I said, public school, huh? Yeah. But anyway, I do a show in Bedford, Pennsylvania. It's like the high point in my career. But I have a lady friend in Pennsylvania that I've known for like 50 years, and I get to visit her, and we're like really good friends, you know. Anybody ever have a lady friend that used to be like really fat and then gained like a whole lot of weight? Man, I mean, she's like a beast. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not even saying I wouldn't bop her. I'm just saying I wouldn't videotape it, you know. My wife saw that. She'd be going, I don't know whether to feel sorry for you or be mad at you. So we couldn't let her see it. I mean, she didn't see the last one. But, and it's funny, too, because it's really like, she's like, I mean, this woman's like 400 pounds. I swear to God. I mean, I'm going to go visit her one day, and she's not going to be able to get the door. I'm going to have to grease up the door jambs and throw out a Twinkie. But that is kind of ignorant, isn't it? I shouldn't say that. But she always wants to talk about obesity and her diet and her thyroid and all this shit, you know, and I don't know nothing about that stuff. And she said current thinking on obesity is it could be very well be caused from a virus, right? And I'm thinking, I see this bitch at the buffet, and I've never seen a virus at the buffet. The other thing is, since she's gotten like 400 pounds, she's decided she's a lesbian, you know, which I think is kind of weird. And you know, I said that, I didn't say it to her because I'd be afraid to, but I think if your weight's approaching that of like a Mazda Miata and you have a like sexual preference, maybe you're just being too picky. But one time she asked me if I knew how to get the 495. I told her try Overeaters Anonymous. Anyway, I got to get the hell out of here, and I enjoyed being here tonight. Thanks a lot.
Let's give it up, Mr. Tom Hancock, you guys! Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. One more time, Tom Hancock, you guys give it up to Mr. Hancock. And one more time for our bartenders and our waitresses tonight, you guys! All right, young lad.